and a religious move by religious leaders in this country, fueled by their politicians who support them, to incarcerate people just on the basis of who they are. I don't know how you call that democratic, Mr. Kazim. That is not democratic. And when you come to the issues, of gay rights, and you say your rights start where mine stop, I think you're getting the whole issue of human rights wrong. Human rights are not distinctible. You don't have distinction between human rights. Your right to life is the same for me as my right to life as a homosexual person. You have got to respect that, because with a law such as this, signed by the number one citizen of our country, to derogate people like myself in Nigeria, who grew up without the influence of Western culture, who grew up as an African boy, who grew up, living in a suburb that never even had anything to do with Westernity, who grew up for the first 15 years of his life influence with the media, and you say that we end up, being who we are because of peer pressure. I am baffled by that. And I think that the president, has just, one of the most grievous things to the minority of Nigerians, the same people who voted him into power in 2011. These are the same people he has incarcerated with his own signature and saying that we can now go to jail for 14 years just because of who we are. And then you say we are democratic as a nation. I'm not so sure we are democratic as a nation, because if we are democratic as a nation and we want to argue, from the viewpoint of culture, we should take the impact of that, of that saying on the lives of minority, in as much as we do not agree on the concept sexuality in this country. Must we send people to jail for 14 years just simply because of who they are, or because we say who they are is not part of our culture? That then solve the problem of who they are. I think at this point we need to be calling for understanding of minority population in this country, and that people sexual orientation, goes outside the protected norm. And again, we need to tell people that what exactly is in the norm is not normal most of the time. And so the fact that you don't find homosexuality in the norm does not mean homosexuality is abnormal. It's an orientation that people are born with. Okay, in as much as we have things that are called situational homosexuality, homosexual orientation is a normal phenomenon. It is found in all cultures of the world, so we should stop going by the reasoning that homosexuality is against the culture of Nigeria, because in every culture we have homosexual people there.
Mr. Williams,
these people that were
Mr. Williams
incarcerated for 14 years are people who never grew up under the influence of Westernity. So how do we argue that?
Mr. Williams,
I mean, people's rights are being taken away from them in a democratic nation, and someone sits and say that is constitutional.
Mr. Williams, we're supposed to be having a conversation here, so can we just come in?
Just slow down so that we can come in as you speak. I mean, are you therefore saying that because it is not caused by peer pressure, it is the way that you are, and you are a minority, are you therefore saying that maybe it should have been ignored, no law should have been made about it, people should just have been left to carry on as usual?
What I'm saying is that people's rights irrespective of who they are. So whether they are heterosexual or homosexuals, people's rights need to be respected. Even the rights of criminals. That is what we as human rights activists stand for. People's rights need to be respected. I don't want to know if someone is heterosexual. I don't want to know if someone is homosexual. I don't want to know if someone is criminal. But are the rights of these people being respected? In as much as we do not resonate on this concept of homosexuality, my same question would be, are the rights of these people being respected? Now you sign a bill into law that will take away the fundamental right to health of homosexual people. And then we know what the prevalence rate of HIV is. Sexual people in this country, especially gays, bisexual, and other men who are sexual men. And then we sign such a bill into law. What are we doing? We are taking the right of health away from them. to endangering the lives of majority population because of the hypocrisy we force these people to live by. These people get into a sexual relationship, and that is also going to have a ripple effect on the right health. I mean, on the health of other Nigerians who are not, homosexual and don't even know what their partners are practicing. Now, you take away the right to life of these people by exposing them to violence. That is what we are saying. We are not saying homosexuality. We are standing for human rights. People's rights need to be respected, in as much as we do not resonate and come to an understanding.
Mr. Williams,
we say that, this is not part of our culture. People's rights need to be respected.
But Mr. Williams, would you also agree that this orientation is alien to many African societies?
I don't agree with that.
Okay.
Because if this is alien to African society, I find no reason why myself as an African man, a Nigerian man to the core, would be homosexual. This is not alien to our culture. It is a universal phenomenon. It is not alien to any culture in the world.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Williams.